Holy shit! Alright, before we get into this one, in the description there's a link to a GoFundMe page to try and get Pat O'Brien's life back on track. So please donate. I'm going to donate after this video. And if you don't know the story, it's about to come out. So let's get straight to it. Alright. So, people of this channel may know something is different. What is different? Erecto. How to sell out. And I was just messing around. There were suggestions about doing Cannibal Corpse and the rest of it. And then all hell broke loose in the Cannibal Corpse camps. If you don't know, one of the guitarists of Cannibal Corpse, which is a Florida death metal band, storied historic career, Pat O'Brien, basically got arrested. He set his house on fire with flamethrowers. And there was another flamethrower in the house which exploded during the fire that set the scene. The police got called to a house in Tampa, and an identified man had broken into a neighbor's house and pushed the woman down and wouldn't leave and started talking about the end of days. And then they called the police, and they finally found him hiding in a bush, and he was armed with a knife, and apparently he rushed the cops who tased him. Let me just say this. God bless those cops. Thank you for not shooting him, because if he did have a knife, usually you get shot just like that. So thank you to the Tampa police force, because, you know, he's still alive. Nobody got seriously hurt. Nobody got really hurt at all. So nobody mentioned that. He got tased, which is fucking awesome. So, you know, thumbs up to you guys. He'd set his own house on fire with everything in it. He has no insurance. I can only imagine what memorabilia he has from being in this band for so long. You know, he's not the original guitarist, but he's one of the most respected, you know, because I prefer his era of Cannibal Corpse. Just the little things like laminates from old tours, obviously the guitars, obviously old gear that he has, that's probably irreplaceable, you know. It's completely out of character for him too. He's not that guy, so there's something is afoot. And we can speculate that he was just blackout drunk. I mean, he did collect guns and he did collect military grade, you know, flamethrowers and stuff, but it's pretty metal. Deathclock, a lot of fans of Metalocalypse. Terrifying dude, brandishing knives, setting fire to his house with flamethrowers. The fire brigade had to run for cover because shit was exploding in there, ammunition, his second flamethrower. He was brandishing knives at cops, pushing women to the ground, talking about the end of days. I think he's been partying with Dr. Roxo, perhaps, because Dr. Roxo will take you down. If you look at I'm just speculating, nothing's come out. I actually have an opinion that he didn't actually physically attack the cops with knives. I think they saw it. He was obviously not himself. It just came out that the judge said that you have to have a drug test to make bail, and the bail wasn't a ridiculous amount. If you attack cops with a knife, you're probably not going to get, you know, easy bail on that type of thing. So I don't think he was as savage as some of the news headlines are making out. I have a few theories. You know, you think about it, you care about people because, you know, he's a good guy. Maybe alcoholism, maybe he's a blackout drunk. On his mugshot, he has marks on his face, which I've seen before in meth addicts, you know, the scratching and the scabs and the things like that. When people lose their minds as well, a lot of them are on antipsychotic drugs, and just the doctors, 20% of women in America are on antipsychotics, usually are on Xanax, things like that. So a lot of people who have breakdowns are often coming off medication. They can't handle the abrupt change, you know. So all the best. I hope he does okay. But this is Circle of Tone. We're not a metal news channel, so what am I doing? It just seems like all the stars aligned with this. It's metal. I mean, nobody was hurt. He's alive. He's going to get help. This could actually be the best thing for him. It'll raise his stock in the just being fucking metal, you know, because that is pretty. It is pretty brutal. So I think he's going to come back. He's going to get help. He's going to get, you know, we're going to crowdfund him and get him back on his feet, and hopefully everything's okay. Back to the core of Circle of Tone, and on this channel, if you're new here, we recreate the studio setup of seminal albums. Like the last one I did was Ride the Lightning. Before that was Slash on Appetite for Destruction. I've done Death, Obituary. I've done old black and death metal, all sorts of stuff. And I am famous for old school stuff, Marshalls and, Plexis and things like that. So why do I have the Enemy behind me, a triple recto? Even though it's an old amp, it's considered a modern metal amp because it went hand in hand with new metal, heavy, everything huge, and bass disappears because there's so much bass on these things that the bass players started becoming almost defunct. So I've gone to the dark side. I thought for my recreations, if I'm going to be doing Meshuggah, if I'm going to be doing stuff that might get this channel out of the mud because it's dying, I'm going to sell out and get a triple recto. But I don't think Cannibal Corpse is selling out. So what did they use? They used, there's a little bit of secret on this as well. They use triple rectos, even more bass than this beast. This is only a single recto. They use, drum roll, I'm waiting for, there's some people that tune into my channel and they like the stuff that I do with the Fender Bassman and the old, Plexi stuff and so I hope you're sitting down. But in front of the flamethrower that is a triple recto, they use a metal zone. Metal zone in front, boosting the recto. But don't get too caught up on it because they put the metal zone, they don't have the distortion up, cranked. It's just like, they use it like a tube screamer type of thing. I would like to find out what frequencies, because there's so much scope on the EQ of a metal zone, which is pretty underrated. I use metal zones to boost amps all the time, so it's not that silly, but when it comes to this thing, they might even use it to control the bass, because the bass is just out of control. They also use, they use Mesa Boogie cabs, but they actually swapped them out for Black Label speakers. So I believe they're the Zach Wilds. So they don't just use like vintage 30s and 75s and the rest of it. So I'm miking up a 75 and a Blackback, but I'm just going to hope it's still alive after going through these bastards. So let's have a little crack. I just realized I'm not warmed up. Oh dear God, I have my wrong pick. All right, let's try and do Cannibal Corpse riffs, style riffs. No noise gate. I'm not scared. Oh my god. Oh, go to his FundMe page. Sort it out. Oh, good times.